project was a little patch of collard green seeds that I planted right here. I've got some collards going that I planted from starts, and then I have my cabbages that I started from seeds, and they're still going, taking forever. I tell you what, I may not can grow vegetables, but I can grow weeds and grass. This thing fills up with weeds and grass every time I fertilize or turn around good. We've got this one early Wakefield that's about ready. I decided that I was going to make my flower beds food beds instead of flower beds. So people drive up and they get out and say, "Man, is that a green rose? I've never seen anything like that." And I just kind of laugh and say, "No, it's cabbage." And they say, "You planted cabbage in your flower bed?" And I say, Yes, I did. Cabbages, collards, got some more radishes coming up that I planted from seed about a week ago. I tried to do them kind of thinned out already because thinning hurts my heart. It just really does. I've got some multiplier onions around. Some dead mums in a pot. I just neglected those. I really don't care for the flowers that much. But I've got some cabbage. I'm wondering if these are not ornamental. They're taking forever. They've been in the ground since probably September or October. They're just now starting to form a little head. Got a couple of Dixondale onions here. They're not doing very much. These were just a couple stragglers I had left over. They were tiny to start with. But my main test for today is carrots. I planted a variety of carrots here just to see what happens. I had a few in the fall and they did okay. I just really didn't know what I'm doing. You know, I'm just practicing and learning and testing. And so I decided I'd try some carrots before it got too late. They may not do anything. They may bolt, and that's okay. Then I'll just go back to the fall. I didn't plant a whole lot, just a few. Weeds. I can grow weeds. You see these boogers? I hate them. They're everywhere. And I have weed barrier down and mulch. But weeds and fire ants. Here in Mississippi, we can grow those like no tomorrow. And I try to weed everything by hand. I will get a hoe and work on it. I've got those little patches left to do that I weeded this morning. It is time to mow grass already. And my garlic needs weeded around. And I just did that a week ago. And it's already back up. We've had so much rain. So much rain. But anyway, that's today's project. Just wanted to try some carrots. I do need to make a place and put out some broccoli and kohlrabi and cauliflower that I had started in the house. And they're up big enough now. I think they can come outside, and I might put them right here. I don't know. We'll see. I gotta get rid of that big old fire ant bed first. Good gravy. Guess I'll just hose it down and let it move somewhere else, because that's all they do unless you put poison, and I'm not using poisons. I'm trying to do everything I can as organic as possible. You see this hot mess right here by our porch. We're going to build a walkway. We haven't done that. We've only been in this house. We built it 2 years ago after a tree fell through our mobile home. So we did what we could do on a low budget. I didn't want to have a huge house note that I couldn't pay for real easily if something happened. So we did as much work as we could on our own. Had some friends that are contractors to actually build the house, and then we did what we could inside, like insulation and the flooring and all the painting and that kind of thing. So that was in our showers. in the tile. So that's a rewarding thing, to know that you've done something yourself. But we'll get to that project out there. We need to build a walkway off for the porch, and we need to do a back patio still too. But it takes money, and a lot of it. My husband wanted to build a concrete back patio and put a roof over it. And the contractor said to do that was going to be about $15,000. I don't want to spend $15,000. I think a wood deck would be just fine out there. Right now it's just the puppy's play area. Y'all overlook these double grills. One's my daughter's and one's mine. She's going through a tough time, tough divorce, and so she brought her pool chairs and her grill and things like that up here. So we're just extra storage space for her right now. And I'm working on the garden still. I got another section done yesterday. Still got a weed. Weeds are my life, apparently. And I did. I don't know if you can see that. You see that wooden crate? It was on my front porch. It had veneer rocks in it that we had used to build our exterior walls on our shower so that it looks like a cabin. Anyway, really pretty. But I saved that crate, and I decided this morning to move it out here to the garden. I'm going to fill it with compost and soil, and that is going to be a raised bed. I put water seal on it, so got to let all that dry and all that chemical dissipate. But had to do something to keep it protected. Got my T-post laying here for putting up more cattle panels for the tomatoes. I just hadn't done it yet. Some of them are bent. We had used it to stabilize the greenhouse when we were building it. It dropped down below 40 degrees last night. After I moved all these tomatoes and peppers in here, it scared me to death. So I brought them a little heater in here and ran it on about 65. Came out here this morning and everybody's looking good. I had a couple that looked like they were going through a little shock, but they've perked right back up in here today. So I guess they're gonna do just fine out here. These are my two store-bought tomatoes because I was afraid that no matter how many I planted that nothing was going to do anything. Just a little fear, but I would say I don't really have much to worry about. I've got tomato plants in here and pepper plants running out my ears, and inside the house back under those grow lights is just as many tomatoes and other things. So surely a few of these plants are going to produce, and I hope they do. The ones that I give to my friends and classmates and neighbor produce too. They sure are pretty right now, but you know, it isn't always as pretty is as pretty does. I still got to wait and see if they're going to produce. I've had my soil tested and, you know, done the things that I felt like I needed to do, that I was instructed to do, and I just keep coming out here and working on the weeds little by little. I'll eventually have it all done and pretty by the time it's time to plant those tomatoes and peppers. This first whole section right here will be the tomatoes. The middle section where the arches are going to be bush beans on these front two rows, pole beans on each arch, and that row right behind the arches will be bush beans, probably just to give it spacing, because back here where these grassy rows are that I've got to weed, I think I'm gonna put squash, and I don't want them to overshadow anything, so I'd like to do that back here. I think it'll make it pretty as well as productive. Then these weedy rows, once I get these cleaned out and get the mulch in there in the walk areas all over the fabric, these rows that have onions in them now will be peppers, like jalapenos and bell peppers and shishitos and tequila sunrise and coral bells and sunbrights. And then I have these little mounds, and right now they have some onions and some garlic, but I'm going to use these. I do believe for some zucchini, and where the garlic is, I'd like to put some sunflowers. And I'm really wanting to get brave and try a small block of corn just to see if I can grow it, because I would like to grow a lot of corn next year. So, got to practice this year, but this is Mimsy's garden so far. Just been working on it since last summer, trying to get things in my head. You know, they tell us new gardeners start small. I did a few rows of cabbage and some purple whole peas. And just one cabbage left that I just keep leaving here. It's not going to do anything, I don't imagine. The leaves are purple. It looks like it's needing something, but it's there. Anyway, I got 19 head of cabbage out of this garden and have been using them. So I did start small. In my opinion, I didn't plant this whole thing. I had a couple rows of purple whole peas and they did well. And I had a few Lincoln peas. They did okay. Nothing to brag about. And then the cabbage. And in the front flower bed, I had carrots and radishes. And I had a few radishes back here and they did good. Enough to keep me happy for a beginner. So, this will be the first real efforts, and it's all practice. I'm really enjoying this little bitty greenhouse. I wish I'd built one 3 times as big. Not really, not for right now. The 5-year plan may be back there, where I had thought about putting blueberry bushes and things like that. I may put a large greenhouse and work on doing tomato and pepper plant starts organically for customers. I don't know. We'll see. I have to look into all that. That's why it's a 5-year plan. I'm in no rush. I want to learn how to do things and be confident in what I'm doing. So, and right now I'm just enjoying the heck out of making everything pretty and seeing what I can get to grow. And then once I master that, I will get very serious about food production and trying to be very self-sufficient and self-sustaining on things like tomatoes, peppers, onions, stuff that I use a lot of every day. So, tell me what you think. Got any tips? I'll be glad to take them. Hit that like, subscribe, share if you want to. I just appreciate everybody that's been checking my videos out in the comments. Y'all have a good evening. Happy gardening.